Joe McElderry will join us next with a brand new album just released. This is the title track, Here's What I Believe.
Tired of hanging on to all the games you played, the lies you made, it won't work that way.
Joe McElderry rose to fame winning the 6th series of X Factor back in 2009. Was it really that long ago? And of course has been triumphant for the 2nd series of Pop Star to Opera Star. That is his brand new album, the title track, Here's What I Believe. Joe, how are you?
I'm very well, how are you?
Very good, nice to talk to you again.
Thank you for having us.
You realise you're the only X Factor contestant ever to have released 4 albums.
Well, so I've been told. I don't even ask where I get the time from, because I don't know how I've managed to fit 4 albums in 3 years.
You've done pretty well for yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I tend not to really listen to any of that kind of statistical stuff. But it's nice to know that I've had enough support that I've been able to make 4 albums. And it's all down to the public going out and buying it and supporting us, because without that I wouldn't be able to do that. So it's not really me, it's the fact that I've had the support.
The McElderry Massive.
Yes, the McElderry Massive, they're great.
The thing about this album, which is different, is that you are co-writing on some of the tracks, aren't you?
Yes, I wrote the song you've just played there, I wrote that with Marcella Detroit from Shakespeare Sister and Gav Clark from the band Uncle. And I've been working with loads of different other people as well. So there's 3 tracks on there that I've wrote and co-wrote with other people. And then more originals on there that have been written for me by some incredible people, Belle Humble, Beth Nielsen Chapman, some really, really famous songwriters who I was honoured to have write for me. And then there's a few covers as well that people know, so there's a real mix between everything, I think.
Were you nervous about working with such well-known songwriters?
Yeah, I mean, I literally started songwriting in January. My manager was like, please try it, Joe, see if you're any good at it. And I went into the studio and tried it, and I loved it. And I took the stuff to the label that I had written with somebody, and they loved it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll give it another try. And then I went in and worked with Marcella, which was quite. She's not intimidating, she's lovely, yes. But it's quite intimidating to work with somebody who's so experienced and talented as a song. I mean, she writes for everybody, and has written some amazing songs for her band and as well. So it was quite nerve-wracking. But I think because of that, it forced us to be a bit more creative, because I was kind of like, I've got to deliver here.
Yeah, and is that when you work best, do you think? When you've got, pressure on you, some sort of deadline to meet?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I started in this industry in an enormous amount of pressure. Went straight on to perform in front of 20 million people a week. So I think I deal with pressure really well because of that. And I sometimes, when I'm most nervous, I perform the best, and when I'm feeling the most under pressure, I perform the best, because I suppose I've had to train myself to be like that. So it definitely works well.
You've, as you mentioned, done some cover numbers on the new album as well. You've not gone for the easy option, though, have you? I mean, Freddie Mercury, amongst others. What made you decide to cover Love of My Life?
Well, because I'd done the songwriting, I wanted to pick songs that I could make my own and really change a bit and kind of, make them individual to me as an artist. Obviously I wanted to I suppose to have my own interpretation of them. So I was really careful with what I picked. So you've got Love of My Life on there, Something's Got a Hold of My Heart, which is a completely different version to the original, When I Need You, which is different, I Don't Want to Talk About It, and then a few others as well as the original. So I was very conscious of picking ones that people wouldn't expect.
And is that why you do what you do? Because you want to surprise people, because you want to grow? I
think it's about growing, and I think it's about showing maturity with each album and experience. I feel a lot more experienced now, and I felt like the next step was definitely to show people that I could do some songwriting and write my own material and have that included on the album, and then also kind of creatively involve myself in the process a bit more by coming up with and deciding on some of the arrangements as well. And I think it's all down to experience. It's like serving an apprenticeship. The more and more you go through it, the more and more you kind of trust your own judgment and trust your own creative decisions.
Yeah, and you can only do that after time, can't you? Because I guess you must have started, back in January with a huge, great list of songs you could have included.
Yeah, I mean, we had thousands of originals, thousands of covers, thousands of songs that, not thousands that I'd written, but quite a lot to to choose from, and I wanted to get a good mix between everything and the right balance. Because I think I could have done an album of all of the stuff that I'd written, but I felt like maybe it was a bit too early. Just like the first time I write and then filling the whole album with all of my stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to include other writers as well, and then obviously a few covers. But I'm already writing. I've been writing ever since I started, so I've wrote about 24 songs now. So maybe it's the next album I can fill with all my stuff.
You've got to do a lot between now and then. We mentioned you were coming on, and we've had loads of tweets from people asking questions of it. Is it right you're doing the Great North Run on Sunday?
Sunday, yes.
Yeah.
That's for Teenage Cancer Trust. I'm a patron of that charity, so I always do stuff for them. So I'm gearing up for a 13.5-mile run. It should be okay though, because I've been doing training, so I should be all right.
Right. What sort of time are you looking at?
I did it in 1 hour 42 last year, and I wasn't that fit, but I'm in good shape at the minute, and I'm really fit. I'm probably the fittest I've been in a long time. So I'm gonna try and aim for 1 hour 35, but I don't want to kind of bet on it too much.
Good luck. Joe tweets, can you ask Joe how much he knows about Kent? Do you know the county of Kent very well?
I have family from Kent.
Do you?
Yeah. And I've visited there a few times, so it's nice to. I know it quite well. I'm not up on the history of it all and everything like that, but I know the area, or parts of it.
Right. Oh, well, that's good news. Any plans to tour? I guess you'll be promoting the album.
Yeah, I'm promoting the album at the minute. I've got album launch shows in Newcastle on the 18th of September, next Tuesday, and then on the 20th of September, I'm in St James's Church in Piccadilly launching the album. It's a proper show, and if people want to come, you can still get tickets, which are available on my website, which is joemckelderofficial.com. So that's next week. Then I'm doing lots of more TV stuff, and then the plan is to go on tour early next year, my own solo tour. And we're just kind of working out the dates and when it's going to be possible, but I think it'll probably be around January, February time.
Oh, right. Well, if you can include a venue in Kent, that'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah. I'm going to try and come everywhere.
Angie has said, are you doing a talent show? She's heard a rumour you're going to do a talent show. Is there any truth in that?
A talent show?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
No? Okay then.
I wonder what it is. I'd like to know what that is, what the rumour is.
You're too busy to do talent shows now, aren't you? Will you do Birmingham when you tour next year? That's another question on Twitter.
Yes, yeah. I mean, everything's up in the air. You have to work out where the venues are available, and there's all these technical things, but I love coming everywhere, and I love visiting everywhere, so I'm going to try and tick off everywhere on my list.
All right, okay. How long did it take you to complete the album then, start to finish, do you think?
I started in January. And I finished in, I would say, early mid-June. I finished it.
Right.
Yeah, so it was about five months.
That's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah, but I actually enjoyed this process because it was different from any other because of the songwriting. So I had a lot of fun with it, and I played around with it a lot more than the other albums, because normally, when I did the last two albums, it was all covers, so we went in with the repertoire, whereas it was quite nice to go in this time with absolutely no definite choices, and you could play around with it a bit more.
Excellent. We wish you the very best of luck with Here's What I Believe. The brand new album is out on Decca and Universal. Joe McElderry, thank you for being with us at Radio Kent.
Thank you for having us.